morning to you. Welcome to Kathy Mill Ministries for your bite-sized word again. Today I'm going to speak to you about something that I believe is going to really encourage you if you're needing a breakthrough. And the story comes out of 2 Samuel chapter 5, when the Philistines heard. I'm reading from verse 17, and then I'll explain to you how this is going to encourage you. When the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, all the Philistines went up to search for David. And David heard of it and went down to the strongholds. The Philistines also went and deployed themselves in the valley of Rephaim. That's 2 Samuel 5, 17 and 18. And so reading the story got me thinking about how, and I've said this many times before, and I've heard other people say this. Here's a little statement. New levels, new devils. And we always talk about when we are brought into a place of increase, when we receive a word of promise, that there's always opposition. And so we heard this statement many years ago, that when you come into increases, the opposition is going to be bigger. But I like to look at it this way. When we have come into increase, because your David had been anointed king over Israel, and everyone heard about it. The Israelites heard about it, and the enemy heard about it. So David had become a threat, because now he had been put into this position of, now he's king over Israel. He's been anointed king over Israel. He's been set apart as leader, king over Israel. So the enemy was intimidated by this, and their reaction was to come against him to try and take him out. So what I believe is that God has promised many people in this time increase, breakthrough, great things to come, and the enemy is intimidated just by that promise. But the fact that you have been anointed by God, you have the Spirit of God, you have the presence of God, you have a word from God that is propelling you forward into a place of increase, a place to advance in the Spirit, a place to be successful at what God has given you to do. There's an anointing upon you to do that. And instead of looking at new levels, new devils, we say when God has anointed us, He also empowers us to overcome. So we don't have to focus on, because there's something bigger for us, there's bigger opposition. We focus on how big God is, and the anointing that is powerful to deal with the opposition anyway. But here David found himself in this place. He did hear about what the enemy was doing. And I'm coming back with part 2 soon.